Hey guys, it's Jen at the Wheelhouse Project, and this is another video in my series about self-care and healing techniques that you can use. Today we're going to go over crystals, and I'll give you just a little bit about crystals. I'm not a crystal expert by any means, but I certainly have some basic information, and I've got some great books so I can give you some basics on how to use crystals. So crystals are really minerals with certain energetic properties and vibrations, and just like anything else we've talked about, essential oils and other things, they have a certain energy to them, and so you can use them for healing certain things or doing certain things in your space, and we'll talk about some of that. But they really align with the chakras. So if you know anything about the energetic centers in our body, the chakras, which I can talk more about later and do some teaching on that, but the colors align with that. So very often you can pick out a crystal pretty easily if you know what the chakras are and what you're looking for. As most people who know the chakras know, your root chakra is red, or the darkest color. And so you might want to look for, if you're looking for some grounding, some sort of security, that's all about security and protection and grounding, that root chakra, is that you look for a crystal in that color category. And I have one right here, one crystal in that color category would be tourmaline. Tourmaline is a really grounding stone. It's all about protection and safety, and there's just a lot of great properties to it. I actually, ironically, used this on my dog last night. There were some fireworks going on outside, upsetting her, and she came to me and was freaking out a little bit before bed, and I grabbed my tourmaline and I held it against her and I just pet her for a little bit. And tourmaline absorbs all that chaotic energy. Like I said, it's a grounding stone, and opaque stones tend to absorb energy. Translucent stones tend to give off energy. So this is a opaque stone. It's meant to absorb, so it was absorbing all that negative energy, all her chaos. So as I held that against her and pet her, she calmed down, laid down, and went to sleep. So it's a great stone that way. And I like this one. Spheres, I will talk a little bit about shapes. Spheres tend to sort of, like they take in energy from all sides, or they give out energy from all sides. So they're great, like if you want to energize a space, or you want to take in energy from a space. So I have this tourmaline in my bedroom to kind of absorb all the negative energy. And I have a nice big one to absorb anything negative. So, that's what this is here for, and that's what a sphere is all about. I mean, there's a zillion different shapes, and you can look up some of the different shapes. I won't go over all of them, but you'll also see, for example, here's a translucent crystal, and this is a clear quartz crystal. And this one has a point on it, and points are really all about directing energy. So you can, this is a clear quartz crystal, that is a translucent crystal, so that gives off energy. So you'd want to point that towards whatever you're trying to do. So if you're maybe meditating and you want that clear quartz crystal energy pointed at you, maybe you would hold it in your hand, pointing it at you. Maybe you'd set it upright on your table to have energy go out to the space, whatever works. But there's lots of different ways to use these. There's also, so many different shapes and things about crystals. So there's one that's got a point to it. It's kind of rough in the back, and they've really polished up the point here. So that, again, could be used to direct energy. And that's a citrine. That aligns with the third chakra, which is all about confidence and abundance and a number of different great things. The other thing I wanted to talk about was clusters. So clusters can direct, that's a cluster crystal, and it's polished, but it's got a number of different points in there, if you can see that. And that is all about directing energy in a number of different ways. So that would, direct energy all over a space. So perhaps that's something you'd want to set in the room. Like, the amethyst is all about sleeping well and calm and peace and intuition. So maybe that's something you'd want to put in your bedroom. Actually, ironically, that is in my bedroom. So that's a crystal that you can use if, like I said, if you want direct energy in a number of different ways from a clear quartz crystal or a translucent crystal. But anyway, there's so many things you can do with crystals too. You can set them in a space. You can hold them when you meditate if you want to, use that energy in your meditation. I know lately I've been piling my hands full of crystals. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I just do what I'm drawn to. and I've been piling crystals in my hands. So evidently I need all that energy right now, or absorbing energy right now. So that's, you know, it's might be part of my healing that I just need those crystals that are opaque to absorb those energies for me. Do what feels right to you. I mean, some people carry them in their pockets. I know lately I've once in a while been carrying a little piece of tourmaline in my pocket or a little piece of turquoise in my pocket for different reasons. So, and I know there are many women out there that wear them in their bras. I think that's funny. But there's a lot of different ways that you can use crystals. And some people will also create crystal elixirs, whereas they, you know, they have those crystals have that energy. So they will like maybe put it in some water for a while and let the water sort of take in that energy, and then they'll use that water to clean or to spray their space, kind of to energize their space, or even in a bath. So there's a number of ways you can do that. And also I should mention that some crystals are water soluble, so you have to be really careful about what you put into water. I know that I have a few crystals in my shower, on my shower floor, and I know some of those are disintegrating at this point because they are water soluble, so they weren't resistant to that water. So anyway, that's a few things that you can do. There's a number of things you can do with crystals, and I'm not the expert on it. I do have a friend who does paintings, and she actually embeds crystals in the paintings to bring in that energy, which is really cool. But there's just a number of things you can do with crystals, and that just gives you a little oversight. The other thing that I do is I also place them around my space. So not just in a room, but I know when I first moved into my apartment, I wanted to set up kind of a perimeter of love energy around my space and kind of set that intention. So I put the crystal that's known best for love energy, which is the rose quartz. So I put small rose quartz in every corner of my apartment to bring in that energy and to intentionally set the space with love energy and border it with love energy, so that, you know, I was not allowing in anything but love energy. And there's lots of things you can do around feng shui. You can use the crystals in the feng shui tradition and place those according to feng shui, and, you know, to energize certain spaces like the financial sector of your home. Maybe you want to bring in a certain crystal for that. Maybe you want to bring in citrine for that kind of confident power energy. There's just a number of things you can do with them. The other thing a lot of people do that I haven't done, but my friend has done for me, who knows crystals really well. She's come in and done some crystal grids for me. Crystal grids are really set up to really bring in certain energy, and they use a number of different crystals in it, and sometimes in a certain pattern, to direct energy into a space. So for a certain purpose too. So that's something you can also set up that are really simple to do. You can do it intuitively. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing. Just go and find the crystals that feel good to you. And speaking of which, I wanted to also mention kind of a funny thing, that when I go into a crystal store, there is so much energy being given off by those crystals, and such a number of different types of energy being given off, that I usually get a little lightheaded and a little overwhelmed. And sometimes I have to actually go grab a tourmaline in the store, or something that's very grounding, a stone that's very grounding, and carry it around with me so that I can actually get back into my body and think about what I'm doing and feel the crystals that I pick up. I need something to kind of ground that. But it's hysterical because I go into a crystal store and I'm just loopy and I can't remember what I came for. I can't figure out what I want. So watch that, because I've ended up taking a lot of crystals home, which is kind of funny, but I've ended up taking a lot of crystals home just because I was kind of loopy. So keep that in mind. It is a real thing. It's real energy, and it can be really powerful. I know that at times I've picked up a crystal and I can't believe the energy that I'm feeling. I can't believe the vibration of that crystal. Other times I might not feel anything. But it's very personal, and it's not that it doesn't have a certain energy, it's just that it might be at a vibration that you can't sense yourself. But like I said, if you get a room full of crystals, boy, it can be overwhelming. So anyway, I'm just looking to see if there was anything else I wanted to go over. I don't think there was, but if you have any questions, certainly leave them in the comments and I'll do what I can to answer them. But I hope that's helpful and gives you a little basic information on crystals. Have fun with them. Bye, guys.